Hi YouTube, it's Small's RNY journey. Coming at you with my week 21 post-op update from RNY surgery that I had on December 18th, 2015. So, starting weight 273, surgery rate 256, current weight 188.6. Very happy. For weight loss of the week of 2.2, weight loss and surgery 67.4, total loss since the high weight is 84.4 pounds, and in the last month I have lost 11 pounds, so I figure that is not too shabby. Sorry, I'm running to an appointment. Anyway. I had a couple things that I wanted to talk about. So, one is I was watching The Naked Truth. I believe it was last week, or like this past Sunday, and it had Rosemary on there. And then I forget what the lady's name is, but the girl from the, one of the head people from the WLSFA. And one thing that they brought up that was a statistic that, I don't know, just didn't sit well with me, I guess, or it scared me a little bit, is that she said that, most people will have, pretty much all weight loss surgery patients will have regain, which, I pretty much thought that myself too. Like, once you get to your lowest weight, there's probably going to be some form of like a bounce back. But the statistic is that you will regain 20% of the weight that you've lost. So I was like, okay, sure. Well, so let me sit down and crunch some numbers and see if I can figure this out. So, for me, I'm hoping to be, like, after all this process is all said and done, around like the 150, 160 range. It would put me at a healthy BMI, and it seems like a healthy weight. But to land there, I would have to get lower, because then there'll be this bounce back. And so if there's a 20% bounce back, I would have to get down to the 130s to have the bounce back land me back into like 155, 160. And the thought of being in the 130s just blew my mind. And I don't even know if that is something that's even possible for me. Not that I want to like be negative about what I'm capable of, but I don't know. And so yesterday I had there's a health coach that specializes more in like WLS type stuff, and it was a part of my pre-insurance process to have sessions with her before surgery, and it's voluntary to have them after surgery. And so and actually I had one with her yesterday, and I brought up the statistic, and I was like, I told her, I'm like, I'm not trying to make it stress me out or freak me out to the point that it's going to be detrimental to me, but hearing the statistic made me think like, oh, really? Like, crap, basically. And, and she said that, a lot of people do experience regain. She's like, but, depending on the person and, their environment, it depends on how much regain. And that, yes, it's a statistic, and obviously she doesn't have the numbers in front of her of like where that came from, but some people experience no regain, some people it's 5, 10, 15, 20 pounds, and it all just kind of depends on like where you're at, with like calorie intake, calorie burn type situation, and which I get, but it was just like hearing something so like, here's a number, and now you can take that number and figure out the math for yourself, and then the math wasn't like something that made me feel the greatest. Was like and like I told the health and wellness weight loss coach lady yesterday, I said, even if, where I stand right now, the second, sitting at 188 pounds, and being able to, like last night I went out for a run and did 5 miles in a little over an hour, and I'm running like 11.5-minute miles for the most part, and having the energy to do so, and having the energy to afterwards like come home and play basketball with my nephews and play outside with my daughter, and like, be active in my own life, just, and I'm not even saying like physically active, but just like being active in my life and not just sitting on the couch watching TV and ignoring outside life. I am happier, and my husband said to me the other day, he's just like, we were talking, he actually sent me a picture of, it was the morning before surgery, before we left the house, and the picture unfortunately is so dark, because when it's dark outside our house, it's just so, it's just dark, and he's just like, wow, you have changed so much, and he's like, and I can tell that you are just so much more happier than you've ever been, and have more energy than you've ever had. And he's right. And so even if I lost the weight and gained 20% back, and it still landed me like a little less than what I weigh now, then what, so be it. Like, but it isn't going to stop me from trying to do my best either, because I told him about this, statistic, and he's like, and I know you, like, you're going to try to go for it and, push yourself, in which I hope I do. I truly, truly hope I do. So that was interesting and a little bit worrisome, but not overly worrisome that I'm like, oh my god, I'm just going to be a WLS failure, but I'm gonna work hard at it. The other thing that kind of came out this week is my aunt and uncle came over to, I live next door to my parents, and they came over to visit my parents, and I went out there, and of course they get the whole, oh, you look fantastic, how much have you lost, blah blah blah, but then I get the, because they know that I had the surgery, I'm honest with like everybody about it. They're just like, my dad mentioned something to my uncle, well, why don't you get it done? And he's like, oh, no, like, so many medical issues, and we know X amount of people who had X, this medical problem and that medical problem, they never had medical problems until they had the surgery, and so I put up, I was like, well, I think, it also all depends on how you take care of yourself after the surgery, with like, nutrition and exercise and vitamins, and no, they didn't have problems until, and I almost wish that I had something like in my back pocket to like say to like shut it down. And so even afterwards, I like, started Googling like percentage of chances of medical problems after weight loss surgery, just to kind of come up with like a statistic or something from somewhere, basically saying like, yes, it's possible. Like, after having the surgery, it's definitely possible that you run into different medical problems, but it's not any greater of a chance that you would run into these medical problems after having, or if you never had weight loss surgery and you stayed a morbidly obese person, you would have medical problems too. I just felt like in that moment I didn't have the correct, like, educated thing to say. And so, and even looking it up online afterwards to try to come across something that if that comes up again, that I can be like, hey, like, you know, here's the information, and to like kind of shut down their lack of knowledge in a sense. Because I don't think it was coming from a negative place. It was more like, I'm scared, so I would never do something like that to myself. But like, good for her, you know, me for doing it to myself. But I still couldn't find anything. So if y'all have any good like articles or websites or something that you can send me in the right direction to really have something so that, you know, this conversation comes up again, because I know it will, because it has before, that I could really say like, well, you know, here's the chances, and, you know, here's the chances, you know, in comparison to if I stayed morbidly obese, you know, compared to like a WLS patient. I don't know. And just so I'm more confident when I'm actually, you know, speaking about it would be awesome. So if anybody can help me out there, it'd be greatly appreciated. But outside of that, it's been a good week. I did really even struggle getting into the 180s this week. I'd go, you know, pretty much stay the same, up, down, stay the same, up, down. And it wasn't until yesterday I was 190 point something. But then I got on the scale this morning, thank God, and I was down 1 point something, so it put me down into the, you know, 188 point whatever I just said I was, which is great, because it seems like now it's just like every 10-pound block for me is kind of like my goal to get to. So 188.46 or whatever I just said, and now 170s. I'm coming for you. 170s. That's crazy. I don't even think I've been in the 180s since I was in high school. And I'm talking early high school. I'm actually in my weight loss surgery center told me the last time I was there that I needed to go in and see my primary some point before the end of the year, for like checkup and whatnot. When I go, I'm gonna ask them for, I wonder if they can give me some form of like a copy of my, you know, because I've been going to the same family practitioner since I was little baby, even maybe. And so I'm wondering if I can tap into their records and get a copy of like how much I weighed and how old I was, so I can really like literally be like, this was the last time I weighed this amount, because it's got to be early high school since I've been in the 180s. So just crazy, just beyond crazy. I think that's about it. Fitting into more size 14s, so that's kind of cool. Coming up on my 6-month anniversary, which just seems crazy. So hopefully I'll be doing a body shop for you then. Trying to think if there's anything else that I really need to talk about, and I don't think that there is. I hope everybody is having a fabulous week, and that we're all gonna come out on the better side of this, in which I think we all are. We're all doing fantastic. Everybody's channel that I watch, you guys are all fabulous and are just doing awesome, and inspire me every day. Like, I probably watch at least one video every day. One, so I can keep up, because there's so many of us, which I love, because we can support each other. But two, just as, you know, if I'm sitting there watching a video about how someone's doing well with like their protein or their water, I'm like, oh, I guess I should take a sip of water myself. So it's almost like y'all are my reminders to make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So, anyway, love you all. See you later.